So, for starters, we're in a psychiatric emergency room. My name is Gregory Kowalski. I am 67 years old. I am a white Polish immigrant. I am a cisgender male. I am single, and I am a retired plumber and locksmith.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Kowalski. My name is Zachary Forte. I'm going to be interviewing today to get a better idea of what's bringing you here today. How are you doing?
I could be better, but I'm all right. How are you?
I'm well. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into it. People have different ways of describing their struggles or problems to family and friends. I'd like you to explain what do you think what do you feel is bringing you here today? What do you think you're struggling with, or what do you think your problem is?
Well, the cops brought me here to the ER because my neighbors called them after they noticed an odd smell coming from my apartment.
Oh no, that is very concerning. When did you first notice something was wrong?
Well, my 80-year-old sister died 3 days ago in her bed, and she was sick for a long time. I didn't call anyone or report her death because I was worried that my landlord would use our apartment's messy condition to kick me out. There's a ton of papers, newspapers, and magazines from floor to ceiling in every room. And my sister also collected hundreds of broken appliances from the houses that she cleaned.
I'm so sorry to hear about your loss. And it also sounds like, on top of this loss, you're concerned about losing your home as well as having
Damn.
recently lost a loved one.
Thank
I'm so
you.
sorry.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you a few more questions if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I'd like to be able to understand how you're feeling after everything you just told me. So there's some specific questions I want to ask you related to your mood. Is that all right?
Okay.
Okay. So over the past 2 weeks or more, have you been experiencing the following symptoms either most of the day or nearly every day? First one would be a sad or depressed mood, feeling hopeless, sad, down, empty, maybe tearful or blue. What would you say?
I mean, other than the loss of my sister, nothing unusual like that, no.
Okay, that's fine. Any decreased interest or pleasure in activities you usually enjoy most of the day or nearly every day?
No,
Okay. Significantly increased or decreased appetite over the past two
no,
weeks? Nothing like that. Have
mm-mm.
you lost or gained any weights that would be noticeable, something like a significant amount? And if so, how much?
No, nothing.
So yes, Mr.
The
Kowalski, I
last,
was asking about your weight loss.
yes, no, nothing like that, sir.
Okay. In the past 2 weeks, nearly every day, or most of the time, have you been having trouble falling asleep, waking frequently, waking earlier than you expected, or sleeping too much?
Nope,
Okay. Any issues with moving or speaking slowly? Having the opposite trouble, maybe trouble sitting still, being fidgety or restless.
no,
Okay. Do you feel fatigued, tired, or low energy most of the day or nearly every day?
no,
Any feelings of worthlessness or extreme guilt about something you had done or a failure to your family as if you let them down some way?
no,
Okay. Do you have any trouble thinking or concentrating on things such as reading a newspaper or watching television um, most of the day or nearly every day?
no,
No trouble making decisions?
no,
Okay. Do you have any history of learning disabilities such as ADHD?
no,
All right, that's fine. Over the last 2 weeks or more, were things so bad that you were repeatedly thinking about death or that you would be better off dead?
no,
Okay, that's good to hear. In the past 2 weeks, have you been having thoughts about killing yourself? Um,
no,
okay, good. If you had answered yes, I might have asked you how often or how intense those feelings have been, if you had had a plan or any intention of doing it, if you had
no,
attempted any time in the past.
no. I mean, I've been gloomy when I realized that my sister was dying a couple weeks ago, and I think I was numb for the past 10 days, but now that she's gone, I feel fine.
Okay. Okay. Um, all right. And I'm going to ask you a couple more questions. Just preliminary questions. If, let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to move on to the next rung of questions for you. Because it seems that you have not described any depressive symptoms. Ordinarily, I would ask you if you reported in the past 2 weeks or more, have you been experiencing any depressive symptoms? And we'd go all into that, but it doesn't seem like you've noted anything besides being gloomy. Or I might ask you how difficult, distressing, or challenging these current depressive symptoms have been for you, but could you explain how being gloomy has been difficult, distressing, or challenging to the current depressive state?
Um, I wouldn't say I've been depressed. I just, realizing that my sister was dying was really hard, and I felt kind of gloomy and a little bit numb for about 10 days now. But once she passed, again, I felt pretty normal. I feel pretty normal now.
Okay, okay. Um, And sorry to clarify, sorry, I meant depressive symptoms. How many separate times would you say in your life you've had similar depressive symptoms, feeling gloomy or down like this?
Never,
Never? Okay.
never.
All
Not
right.
notably, at least, no.
I'm going to move on to the next set of questions, if that's all right with you then.
Yeah,
The next questions will focus on experiences you've had over the last 6 months.
okay.
In the last 6 months or more, have you been feeling very nervous, frightened, worried, or on edge, like something awful might happen?
No,
Okay. Have you felt uncontrollable anxiety, worry about everyday things such as relationships, health, or finances? Do others think that you are a worrier or a worrywart? Okay. Have you felt anxious in places or situations where help might not be available or escape may be difficult? Or, for example, like being on a crowded bus or in an open space or an enclosed space like an elevator?
no,
Okay. Have you experienced fears of objects or situations like open spaces, closed spaces, elevators, clowns, snakes, spiders, what have you? Anything along those lines?
no,
Okay. In the last 6 months, have you felt anxious that you have avoided meeting new people and you felt extremely embarrassed or humiliated in front of others? For example, when public speaking or eating.
no. I mean, I've never really been interested in making friends just in my whole life, but
Hmm.
it's nothing
Okay.
new recently.
Okay. Interesting. Thank you for letting me know that.
Of course.
In In the past month, have you been bothered by disturbing or inappropriate thoughts, urges, or images? They may have
No,
repeated or uncontrollably popped into your minds?
no,
No? Okay. All right. Have you felt driven to repeatedly perform behaviors, rituals, or mental acts such as repeatedly washing your hands, checking locks multiple times, or counting things?
no,
Okay. And if you had answered that, I might have asked you, did you perform these activities to reduce your anxiety or prevent something bad from happening? But you said no. I also might have asked, did these activities interfere with your ability to function at home or work or another domain of your life? I have a bit more questions, a few more questions for you, I should say. Um, have you at any time of your life ever experienced an intense rush of anxiety or panic?
Just repeat that last question for me.
Have you at any time in your life ever experienced an intense rush of anxiety or panic that lasted, say, 10 minutes, and you were
No,
suddenly unexpectedly felt very frightened by it?
no,
Okay, if you had answered yes, I might have asked you during these attacks, did your heart begin racing? Uh, did you feel a shortness of breath or dizziness or lightheadedness?
no,
No?
nothing like that's ever happened.
Okay. During these attacks, if you had had them, would you experience nausea or stomach problems, chest pain, or sweaty and clammy hands?
I wouldn't know. I've never experienced that.
Okay. Have you ever felt like you were going to die, feeling faint or loss of control during a sort of sense of anxiety, like an anxiety
No,
attack? No? Okay.
no.
Um,
Sorry, could you repeat that last question for me?
sure, yes. Since I was just asking follow-up questions related to possible experiences of panic attacks or anxiety, but you answered no, so I'm gonna um, head on over to the next set of questions.
Okay,
Um, so let's see. I'm going to be asking you a little about maybe some experiences with trauma. Many of us
okay.
experience or witness trauma, traumatic events like violence or sudden deaths of someone close to us, sexual physical assault, war, conflict or combat, serious accidents, injuries, experiencing multiple surgeries, or a natural disaster such as a fire. Have you had any of these experiences in your lifetime?
No, I mean, other than my sister passing recently, but I wouldn't consider that traumatic.
Okay. All right. All right. I'm going to step on over to the next set of questions then. I would like to understand more about what's going on for you. So I have more questions about periods of time in your life, lasting at least 4 consecutive days, most of the days, or nearly every day. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, compared to your usual self, have you ever been in a period lasting 4 to 7 days when you felt unusually and constantly happy, cheerful, excited, high, like you were on top of the world? These periods also occur most of the day or nearly every day. And were there any drugs and alcohol involved in these periods of time?
No, I mean, and as far as alcohol and substances, I'm clean as a whistle, clean as a bell.
All right, that's good to hear. What about feeling so unusually and constantly irritable, angry, or extremely frustrated that you should shout, you argue with others, or had verbally or physically gotten into a fight with somebody?
Never, no,
Okay. Have you had a period of time for at least 4 days when your thoughts were too fast, like they were racing very quickly from one subject to another, or you found yourself talking very quickly?
no,
Okay. What about becoming easily distracted so that any little interruption could sidetrack you from what you were focused on?
no,
Okay. For a period of 4 to 7 days, did you ever feel more self-confident or accomplished than usual? Have you felt more important, talented, or intelligent than others?
no. I
Okay.
mean, definitely not that, but I will say I am quite intelligent, not more so than others. I tried to clean up my place, but there were too many articles on bioluminescence, which I've been researching for 3 decades for me to move or throw away.
Hmm.
I believe that bioluminescent and genetic technologies are on the verge of a breakthrough that might allow the skin of animals and then humans to glow in subtle colors that would allow people to move to more directly recognize emotions. Do you think that the medical school here would be interested in some of my papers after my death?
I don't know. That's a very interesting concept, and I'd love to hear more about it after we could get through these questions.
For sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. So where was I? What about feeling like you could do things others could not do, or like you had special powers or abilities, such as the ability to cure a disease?
No,
No? Okay. For 4 to 7 days, were you more talkative than usual, so much so that people had trouble um, interrupting or understanding what you were saying?
no,
Okay. For most of the day, nearly every day, did you feel so sped up as if you had more energy than usual and also had decreased need for sleep, as well as not really needing to sleep, feeling rested or energized with the decreased need for sleep?
no,
All right. Throughout your life, for a period of at least 4 days, have you had a significant increase in your activity, creativity, productivity, motivation, or drive?
no,
Okay. Lastly, did you ever, for 4 to 7 days, have intense desire to engage in exciting or pleasurable activities that you impulsively acted on or ignored the risk related to them? These activities could include spending sprees, gambling, unprotected sexual activity, or reckless driving.
No, I've never had a romantic or sexual relationship, and I said earlier I never really had many friends or social contacts outside of my family because I was never really interested. I had my books.
Mm, okay. Well, it sounds like you found something that brought you joy. So I'm going to head on over to the next group of questions. Um, have you reported that you were experiencing periods of your life, past or current, that lasted 4 days where you felt any of the past feelings we mentioned?
No,
No. Okay. So I would see, and if you have any difficulty with any of the past few questions I asked you about affecting one or more parts of your life,
no, haven't experienced any of that.
okay. Now I'm going to ask you about experiences people sometimes have. Um, have you ever repeatedly felt you were outside of your body or detached from your mind, feelings, body, or memories, feeling like numb or like a zombie?
No,
Okay. What about feeling like your surroundings are strange, unreal, or unfamiliar?
no,
All right. Have you ever been convinced that something was very wrong with the way um, your body was or part of your body looked or felt?
no.
All right. Did you ever feel that you had a serious disease, even though your doctor said there was nothing physically wrong with you?
Actually, I haven't really been to a doctor. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, so I never go a day without eating one. Not since I
Hmm.
was 21. I try to change it up. So I'll have a Granny Smith one day, then a Red Delicious, and a Macintosh, and so on. And on the holidays, I have caramel apples.
Wow, it sounds like you have a very intricate system.
I do.
All right. Have you ever felt that someone was controlling or magically putting thoughts into your mind, taking thoughts out of your mind, or thoughts were being broadcast aloud so others could hear them?
No,
Okay. Have you ever heard voices of people whispering or talking that other people did not hear?
no,
Have you ever had visions of seeing things other people could not see?
no,
All right. I have a few more questions here. We are almost done. In the past 3 months, have you tried not to gain weight or restrict your food intake in any way?
no,
Okay. In the past 3 months, have you avoided high calorie or high fat foods to keep from gaining weight? At your
no,
lowest weight, did you feel overweight?
no,
Okay. In the past 3 months, did you have times when you ate a very large amount of food more rapidly than normal, and within a 2 hour period of time, you didn't feel physically hungry?
no,
Okay. Have you ever done anything to prevent weight gain, like vomiting, fasting, exercising, or taking laxatives?
no,
All right. During the past 12 months, have you found that you've been using alcohol, medications, or substances in greater amounts than you intended to, or for longer than prescribed? As, for example, pain medication like codeine, or stimulants like Ritalin or cocaine, or sedatives like Valium?
no. Like I said, I'm clean as a whistle, clean as a bell. I have an apple a day, so I don't have to go to the doctor.
You had mentioned that. Thank you for reminding me. If you ask people, let's see, I have a couple more questions for you. If you ask people who you know you best about your personality, would they describe your personality in one of the following ways? Quick to become very emotional, irritable, with very little reason.
No,
Okay. Um, would they describe you as excessively critical of yourself?
no.
How about struggling to make or maintain positive connections with others?
No, I mean, like I said, I was just never really interested in having relationships or connections outside of my family.
Hmm. Okay. Um, yeah, so yeah, just asking about disinterest in making friends or emotionally getting close to others.
I guess I've been pretty disinterested in making friends. I always had my books.
Mm, okay. Um, will they describe you as suspicious of others, uncaring about other people's feelings, or using people to get what you want?
No, I mean, my sister was always a little strange and a little paranoid, and she was convinced that we needed to be prepared for the security forces from the Ministry of Public Security in Poland showing up at our door and arresting us. But,
Mm.
you know, that was her.
Was there any particular context for why she would think that?
Well, when we moved here in 1970, we were poor and coming from communist Poland, and so it
Mm,
was tough to find, jobs, and we had to deal with a lot of prejudice from Americans.
yeah.
So it was hard for her.
It's very challenging being an immigrant. It's very challenging starting a new life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you a few more questions. We're really close to the end. But I want to ask you, would anyone describe you as overly dependent on others or fearful of being alone or abandoned?
No,
Okay. Would they describe you as manipulative, deceitful, hostile, or irresponsible?
no.
All right. What about impulsive, reckless, or not considering of negative consequences?
I don't think so. I mean, other than this recent incident, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I was about to call for help when the cops and the paramedics showed up, and I know that what I did seems wrong, and I should have called for help sooner.
Mm, okay. Um, just curious, what made you not want to call for help so soon?
I mean, again, there was just so many papers, and I didn't want our landlord to, come in and kick us out, kick me out, I guess,
Mm,
I had all my articles everywhere, and I don't want to get rid of all my articles on bioluminescence. I've spent 3 decades studying this.
it sounds like these are very important documents. I know you'd mentioned being concerned about the stability of your home and your living space after your loss. So I just wanted to clarify. Thank you for that. A few more questions here. Just want to ask if anyone ever described you as impulsive, reckless, or, oh, sorry, already asked that, overly focused on getting things perfect. Would anyone ever describe you overly focused on getting things perfect or in a particular order?
No.
Okay. And lastly, a few questions about your medical and family history as well to conclude.
Okay.
We're almost complete with the interview. We were, have you, were you experiencing any medical or physical health problems since the symptoms you reported beginning?
No, I've never been to a psychiatrist.
Okay. Were you taking or withdrawing from any drugs or medications when experiencing any of the symptoms you reported today?
Nope. Like I said, clean as a whistle, clean as a bell.
All right. Were you ever hospitalized for a medical or a mental health problem?
No.
All right. Is there a family history or diagnosis of any type of mental illness along the lines of anxiety, schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, or substance abuse?
No. Not
All
that I
right.
know of.
Okay. I'm going to ask you my final question. Finally, we're finally here. Please share some aspects of your background or identify, such as your religion, veteran status, immigrant status, race and ethnicity, or sexual orientation that you believe may be making your problems better or worse.
Well, like I said, my sister and I moved here in 1970, and we were poor. We came from communist Poland, and so it was tough to find jobs, and we had to deal with a lot of prejudice from some Americans. And we lived together since we moved to the U.S. To support us. I did odd jobs for a couple of years, and my sister was a house cleaner for years and years. We've received social service assistance for the last 20 years.
That's tough.
Yeah, I took night classes to better understand the strange world that we live in, and I really enjoy learning.
It sounds like it. Well, it's been very nice meeting you, Mr. Kowalski. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we conclude?
No, I don't think so. Just, yeah, I love learning, and I've been taking night classes to understand this strange, strange world.
Well, I want to thank you very much for your time, your willingness to share your experiences with me. Um, this information you have courageously shared, I will be able to understand your challenges better, maybe better understand what you've been experiencing, and this will help me allow us to work together and help you make you feel better.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hope you get well soon.
Thank you.